The book of Philippians is an epistle written by the Apostle Paul to the church in Philippi, a city in Macedonia. It is a letter filled with deep affection and gratitude for the Philippians' partnership in the gospel and serves as an encouragement to them in their faith. Philippians chapter 4 verse 19 is a verse within this epistle that speaks of God's provision and the abundance of His grace. To fully appreciate the meaning and significance of Philippians 4:19, it is important to consider its context within the broader themes and teachings of the book of Philippians. The verse comes at the end of a section where Paul expresses his gratitude for the support and generosity of the Philippians. He acknowledges their financial contribution and assures them of God's faithfulness in meeting all their needs. "And my God will supply every need of yours according to His riches in glory in Christ Jesus." The verse begins with the assurance that God, who is referred to as "my God," will supply every need of the Philippians. It emphasizes God's role as the ultimate provider and the source of all blessings. This passage reminds believers that God is intimately aware of their needs and has the ability to meet them abundantly. The verse further highlights that God's provision is not limited by earthly resources, but is based on His riches in glory in Christ Jesus. This phrase points to the unlimited wealth and abundance available to God, which He freely extends to His children. It reassures believers that their needs will be met according to God's abundant resources, which far surpass anything the world can offer. Philippians 4:19 calls believers to trust in God's faithfulness to provide for their every need. It encourages them to rely on His wisdom, timing, and unlimited resources rather than being consumed by worry or seeking fulfillment through worldly means. This passage invites believers to place their trust in God's providence and to seek first His kingdom and righteousness. While Philippians 4:19 speaks of God meeting every need, it is important to differentiate between needs and wants. God's provision does not necessarily mean fulfilling every desire or indulging in worldly pleasures. Rather, it assures believers that God will provide what is truly necessary for their well-being, growth, and service in His kingdom. God's provision extends beyond material needs. While He cares for our physical well-being, He also meets our emotional, spiritual, and relational needs. His provision may come in the form of wisdom, peace, guidance, comfort, or the support and encouragement of fellow believers. Philippians 4:19 encompasses the holistic provision of God for every aspect of our lives. Philippians 4:19 also invites believers to cultivate a posture of faith and contentment. It reminds us that God's provision is rooted in His love and faithfulness, and as we trust in Him, we can rest in His sufficiency. This verse encourages us to find contentment in God's provision, rather than pursuing worldly wealth or constantly striving for more. As recipients of God's provision, believers are called to reflect His generosity and grace in their own lives. Philippians 4:19 prompts us to consider how we can extend God's provision to others, whether through acts of kindness, generosity, or sharing the good news of salvation. It challenges us to be channels of blessing to those around us. Philippians chapter 4 verse 19 is a powerful reminder of God's faithfulness and provision in the lives of believers. It assures us that God, who is rich in glory, will supply all our needs according to His abundant resources. This verse calls us to trust in His provision, cultivate contentment, and reflect His generosity in our interactions with others. As we meditate on Philippians 4:19, may it deepen our faith, strengthen our trust in God, and inspire us to live lives of gratitude and generosity.